Hey, are we on? I always know what I'm going to say first because I'm salty and sarcastic. Uh, yeah. Oh, you just went on. Great. Oh, I have to do one thing. Okay. This is called it's a little thing I do called gnome for the holidays. Oh, put my friend over here. It's Zazoo. Maybe I'll put him over here so you can see him better. Yeah, about that. Okay, he's my buddy. And just before we start, I'm going to show you my Christmas tree over here across the room. There's my little tree. If you could see the tree skirt over there that I got. It's got gnomes on it. Yeah, I was lucky to find that. Well, I ordered that. I ordered that tree skirt online, and then I found the gnomes at the dollar store the other night, and I have a stocking of a gnome because when I moved in here. Oh, by the way, let's look a little plastic here. Zazoo Plazz. 12/23/24 Zazoo Plazz report. I'm a little tired, so bear with me. I've been posting content. I've been getting ready for Christmas. I've been baking, cooking, shopping, doing all the other stuff. Talking to my dad, got up last night. It's 7:30 in the morning. Luckily, my neighbor had to go to work, so I can do all my stuff and make noise. Just just having to devote part of my creative mind to people and meeting with people and buying things for people and people giving me stuff and you know keep maintaining traditions with people that have gone on for years, and I'm not exactly sure how to stop, but I'm bored beyond belief, and I'm aching to start new traditions, and I don't know how to tell these people, just stop, okay? Because I need to start something new with my life. I need new friends. I need, friends who share with me new ideas, who want to do new things and not always just the same, you know. I mean, I appreciate, the old friends and the times we've had, but I'm going to scream if I don't move on. I'm going to have to move, because it's not easy to have these conversations, but damn it, it's time. Anyway, so I was saying, when I moved in, I noticed I had it's like a little, um, I don't know, planter or something with this gnome like forest creature and a dog right outside my place here. And I've been wondering what to put in there, and I just left it empty. But it inspires me. I think there's nature, fairies, and spirits around here keeping an eye on me. Um, so I got my vest on today. Yeah, yeah. Got my buddy over there. Um, so yeah, I'm into gnomes, and so every year, I make up my list, or I made my portashima. I put a picture of that on my Facebook page, which is basically French Canadian shepherd's pie. My relatives, they instead of using mashed potatoes, they chopped up the potatoes, and it's just basically you throw it all in a Dutch oven, which I bought for myself. Very nice. And then my dad says, "Oh, I have one you could have used. I'm not using." Yeah, but mom probably used it for 30 years. So I wanted a teal one. So I went and bought one. And then my son, who's 24, he says, he's a foodie. He's like, "Oh, is that a Le Creuset or whatever?" And I'm like, It's one of the, he likes, he and his girlfriend, they like nice things. He's a Virgo. He likes things from Williams and Sonoma, or Williams Sonoma, or whatever. He lives down in by New Haven, western New Haven, near Fairfield. And he lives in New Haven now. He moved. But, he likes nice things. He likes good food. He likes to travel. And he's making good money. So he has nicer pans than I have. And he's just learning how to cook. I've been cooking in crap pans for the past 20 years. And now he's giving me crap shade. He's throwing shade on me because my pans aren't up to snuff. Well, my mom cooked in the same pans, and she maintained that they get seasoned, over time. She hardly ever got new pans, but he's very particular about those things. So if he's listening, I hear you. And if you want to buy me a Le Creuset pan, I could use a big skillet. You're more than welcome to buy Mom a nice skillet. And I could use a meat knife too, a new knife. Yeah, I've been using the same crappy knife to cut my vegetables and my meat. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there since Christmas is coming, in case anybody's watching. I could really use a meat knife. And it's funny because my youngest son, I'll, I'm not going to go get it. Last year he gave me for Christmas a pot holder, the regular kind you put your hand, with a woman with an apron, like an old time, like from the 50s, like June Cleaver, and she's holding a big knife and she's cutting a carrot, and it says, "Careful, I have a knife." That's what my kid thinks of me, because of that time when I tell this story all the time. The time that I got so mad at him and his brother, I was holding a wooden spoon and I brought the damn thing down so hard on the granite counter that the head of the spoon fell off and it went right between them. Like they were sitting on opposite ends of the table. The damn head from the spoon went and hit the sliding door and made a bang. They're still talking about it. I said nothing. They were fighting, or giving me sass, and I was trying to make dinner and do a million things, because that's how I do. I'm doing a million things. I'd be helping one kid with his homework, and I could be making dinner and, planning something for work and doing, I wouldn't just be doing one thing. But sometimes toward the end of the day, I'd get tired because I've been doing this all day, and I just wanted some peace, So I'll do anything. So that's the word for today, peace. I do anything. Peace is the most important thing in my life. If I have peace, I can do anything, you know? And the things that disrupt my peace are the things that I have no problem cutting out of my life completely. Anything that disrupts my peace of mind is out of here. If it's a person, if it's a habit, if it's, TV, it's out of here. Food, anything that makes me feel, lowers my energy, it's out of here. It used to take me a while to figure out what these things were, but now it's instantaneous and I just get rid of it. And then my life gets really simple, like the holidays. I have candy canes on my tree. I bought a bunch of candy canes at Walgreens, and I have on my tree a little cardinal, and now I have at the top of my tree a beautiful, it's like a topper with bells on it that I bought at the astrology fair a couple of years ago. No, last year. I didn't have the tree yet, but my oldest son bought me the cardinal on a trip to Vancouver. It's a beautiful cardinal. And now that I put it on I said, oh, I have a tree to put that on now. I had been flying him from the chandelier in my office, and he didn't like that. So I sent a picture to my son and I said, the cardinal, he says, oh, the cardinal looks happy that he's in the tree. And I said, yeah, and it's funny because my aunt who died this July, Aunt Vivian, um, my cousin put cardinals on the back of her prayer cards because she loved cardinals. That was her thing. And when she died, the next day I saw a female cardinal out by my front door. And my youngest son found one in the woods just a couple, like a couple months after she passed, month and a half. So I'm thinking, cardinals. And so then the other thing with the bells I put at the top of my tree because I was thinking I have nothing to put. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I bought it last year. And I just had it like hanging on a hook nail in my bedroom when I was still at the house last Christmas. This is my first Christmas divorced in my own place. So I knew it was going to be kind of weird because he's got the tree with all the, you know, and I have to go and get some. I've got, you know, I have some ornaments that I realized I brought into the marriage that were mine from my family that, my mom gave to me. So I might take a few of those and put those on my tree. If I have to go up the hill and get some papers and Christmas cards from friends of mine who don't know that I moved. They're still addressing my Christmas cards to both of us because they don't know that I got divorced and all that stuff. So I have to deal with that. I'll send them New Year's cards. My cousin in Brooklyn and his wife, they're boomers. They're a bit older, but their kids, they had two sons too, but they're, yeah, a few years older than our boys. But they don't know that we're not together. So I'm going to have to tell them. And a couple of my cousins don't know. Um, the ones I'm fairly, I mean, they send the annual Christmas card. That's, and one of my high school friends, she always sends me a nice card and she doesn't know. Um, yeah, so I'll have a little, I figured they can wait. I'll send them New Year's cards, a little note. I'll get some nice cards and the great thing is, if you wait till the last minute, they go on sale after Christmas. That's good. That's good. It's not cheap. I'm conserving my energy. I'm being smart. And I'm not going to get the cards anyway. They're at his house, so I'll get them all at once. Maybe I'll go up Christmas Eve and drop off a little something, and pick up my card. Anyway, it's getting late. So yeah, and the other fun thing, I did post. All right. Um, oh yeah, so the thing that's going to happen, I had to work this out with my dad. After much deliberation, I said, you know, Dad, I think I'm just going to make baked stuffed shells and have them here for my little dinner. But I can bring you some. And how about if I make a cherry cream pie and the boys come over and we have dessert together so they can have dinner with their dad and dessert with their mom and their papa. And my dad says, oh, that sounds good. I got whipped cream. Because my mother always used to make the cherry cream pie. She used to make, like you put like sweetened condensed milk in like she used a regular pie crust. I use graham cracker crust. And you put that in there and it sets, and then you put the cherries on top and you put whipped cream on the top with the cherry or something. And it's so good. You put almond extract in the base part. And that's what makes it like Christmassy. That almond extract, tangy, that wonderful flavor. Um, so, and I would always, when I had everybody at the house, mom would make it, usually she'd make the pie and I would put out, usually my mother-in-law would bring cookies, she'd bring a plate with her cookies they would be all different sizes. My mom, everything had to be the same, uniform. I talk about this in the book quite a bit. And my mother-in-law, you and they they do these cookies around with a little chocolate chip in the middle. So they looked like little. Anyway, I'm not dissing your mother. God rest her soul. God, Merry Christmas, Mom P. She's wonderful, wonderful, caring woman. But her cookies were. I used to just notice some of them would be like this big, and some of them would be like this big. They'd be all different sizes. They look kind of like they were looking at you. Okay, anyway, it's a visual. It's stuck in my head. So she'd bring. What did I say? She'd bring her cookies. You don't want to know what it's like to have my head, to have my brain. But I'm giving you a glimpse. Take it or leave it. If you don't like my humor, just go. If you don't like my little one-liners, you feel attacked by my little cliches and my little puns, then don't interact. Then just move on. You don't have to tell me how much I offended you by appearing to trivialize your life with my funny little quip. Anyway, moving on. Facebook. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, we put out all the desserts, and I'd have cashews and I have fruit salad with walnuts and cranberries, oh, and the little wrapped candies, the after eights, with the chocolate and the sort of like York peppermint patties, but they were square. Oh, I used to, and all the things I used to put out. And then for the kids, we do like there'd be a bowl, candy sleigh, crystal candy sleigh filled with, um, or we had a Christmas tree. We had a Christmas tree plate. And I used to put after eights on there and then fill M&Ms and like Hershey Kisses, like the cherry cordial Hershey Kisses, and like a crystal sleigh that we had. I miss that sleigh. That was so nice. We had so many nice things. And we'd have a shrimp plate for Christmas, and we'd always have like roast beef with potatoes and carrots and coleslaw and rolls, and his mom would bring rolls, and it was so good. But I'm not doing that. I'm tired just talking about it. So maybe he's probably going to make the roast beef in the bag like we do every year. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be here eating my baked stuffed shells, and I think I have a little ham. Put that on the side with a little salad. I'll be fine. At my dinner. Uh, yeah, so I guess I better get to it. Um, oh yeah, the other thing. I just have so many good stories. The other thing is, quickly, I found out my youngest son is dating this girl, and when I went up to Yukon to see him a couple weeks ago, I asked him, "Oh, where's she from?" And so he said, "Oh, her mom lives in the town where I grew up, East Hartford." He said her last name, and I said, "Oh, I'm not going to mention," but I said that last name sounds familiar, and then I realized it was the last name of the guy that my cousin was engaged to marry. So, and then he found out that she's his niece. Like, so my youngest son is dating my my first cousin's ex fiance's niece. Anyway, that kind of blew my mind. Yeah. So yeah, and one other thing, it's weird when you've got kids in their early 20s. You you go to Target and you walk by and you look at the toys and you go, "Aw." Until I looked at the price tag, what they're charging for these, the big, and we still get my husband still gets the kids the big Lego kits. I noticed they had a Pac-Man one for like $250, $270, something like that. Like, oh my gosh! Now, if you read, I mean, grown-ups are putting these things together now. My kids, they have a whole Lego room. And they used to spend all of Christmas Day just putting their Lego kits together. Well, and then it became they could do it in like, a couple hours. And every year they got better at it. So, now we just gave up. Like, They're too good at it. Oh, anyway, I get 10 minutes left. I might have to make this a longer one. Or I'm just going to, you know what? I'm just going to make it short now. Book of Micah. Uh, predicting. Yeah, he's predicting that, Jesus was going to be born in Bethlehem, which was it's a small, humble town. And so he's talking about Jesus being from old ancient times, that he would be a shepherd of his flock, and he shall be peace. Um, so you know, I think that word, is peace, and it's he's the light of the world, right? So I picture, like, the king, not just Israel, but now the Savior of the whole world. So he's bringing the light for the whole world, for every heart in the world, to be lit up with, with love and with peace. Um, and the other thing, Hebrews, yeah, they're talking about the old law, and um, giving sacrifice for sins, right? So we would have to go to confession, and you know, it's doing that hard work of doing penance, and being under this, this law, this since Christ has come, we don't have to do that anymore. He did it for us. But it to lift us up out of these old ways. So when you get to a higher level consciousness, then you, you could still go there, but it's not as necessary. You still have to get rid of get your stuff in order. Um, but his coming enabled us to do it ourselves, to free ourselves, to give us the strength to rise to our potential, to become what we're meant to be. So we couldn't do that earlier. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then the reading where, Mary, Jesus's mother, visits Zechariah and her cousin Elizabeth, who was pregnant with John the Baptist, and about how she says hello, and the baby jumped in the womb, and that, and then she starts saying, blessed is Mary, and all that, which is probably what became the Hail Mary prayer that we always said since I was raised Catholic. But it's like Mary. She said, God's will be done. It takes a lot of courage to do something, to give your life over to God like that. But we're all called to do that, and then that's where the miracles happen. When you just let go of having to know, everything that's going to happen and how, and we don't know. We're never going to know. That's only for God to know. So that's kind of interesting. Um, and then, yeah. So what I understand is, when you read about astrology and things, one thing they say is that the soul comes and goes from the fetus until it's finally, when the baby is born, it finally, within a certain number of days or whatever, has to, go into the body, right? So, when the baby jumped in her womb, she was filled with the Holy Spirit. So that meant that, the baby was, spirit was there, actually, because she felt it. So I thought that's very interesting. Take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to impose my views on people. I just report what I read, and if it makes sense, and it does make sense, um, that might happen. Um, so the song for the week, I didn't have a whole lot of time, but this kind of made sense to me. Oh, I don't have my Christmas socks on. That's right. I'm waiting till tomorrow. Because I didn't want to do more laundry. Huey Lewis in the news. The power of love. I've been watching Quantum Leap, the old shows from the late 80s. Um, really good. And so, Back to the Future. This song was written, it's interesting because Huey Lewis was asked by the movie, I guess it was, I forget who was the director of the movie. They asked him to write a song, and he says, "Well, I don't really do movie songs, and I really don't want to write a song called Back to the Future." And they said, "That's fine. Just whatever song you write, next, just." And this was the song that he wrote next. And if you watch the video, um, it's it's him and the band playing, and Doc drives up in the DeLorean, and some kids he tells them not to play with the controls, and they do, and then they go off, and there's fire, when they come back, and just the video it was just so right for today. Um, yeah, you look at the lyrics to the song. The song was released June 17th, 1985. Was on the soundtrack to Back to the Future. So that was the summer it came out. It was the band's first Billboard number one, Billboard 100, and their second number one on the mainstream rock charts. So yeah, you don't need no money or fame or credit card. It's diamonds, diamonds. I thought was a very interesting image too that came to my mind. Um, and it says you don't need money for Jesus was born poor. Jesus was not born in the Ritz Carlton. Okay, so but he came in, to bring love, to the world, and he's still doing it. So it talks about love being strong and sudden, and it could save your life. The lyrics here. I mean, Jesus did all those things. You know, that's what God has done for us. Through that's how God changes our life. Through love, through the those who are protecting us. The light, the breath, the spirit that fills us. It enables us to do things that we couldn't have otherwise done. You'll be glad, baby, that the word baby is in the song. That's the power that makes the world go round. Uh, Stronger than steel, with a little help from above. And I thought it used to say, with a little handful of love. No, it said, with a little help from above. You'll feel the power of love. Wow, that's okay. We didn't have lyrics on online when we were listening to these songs. We just heard them on the radio. So sometimes we heard them wrong because it was muffled. It wasn't as clear as you hear it now on YouTube or wherever. So I'm getting tired, and I have to go have a snack and do all my baking stuff like that. But I did want to, come on and give my thoughts on some of these things. Yeah, I mean, and definitely, we have help from above, especially this time of year. It's up to us to ask for it if we need it. I mean, that's hard for us Gen Xers, but it's hard for me. Um, but it's like George Bailey. He would never ask for help, and yet, he had an angel come down and help him, Clarence, and then he got his wings. So maybe if you get help from an angel, he or she will get their wings this Christmas. And with that, I will sign out. Wish you happy holidays. I'll be back before New Year's, and Merry Christmas and much peace, much love. Um, and I'll see you Same place, different time.